Why do y'all hate me? What is talk to me, haters? I want to talk to the haters right now. Let me talk to my one percenters. One percenters, the floor is yours. One percenters, the floor is yours. Candace Owens, go. Who that?
All
We
right.
have a white woman on the live. May I help you, young lady?
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. And you're joining from where?
Australia.
Australia. I've never been to Australia. I'm waiting for my African family to
No
invite me to
way.
Australia. May
I'll
I
give you.
ask you,
I
may
can
I
give you.
ask you, may I ask you what brought you to Dr. Umar's live stream?
What brought me to your live stream?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Because
pretty
my
much a.
live stream is
Oh,
usually only for African people, and you're not
oh,
an African, so I was
well,
wondering what brought you
well,
to the
I'm
live
trying
stream.
to be, brother. You know, like I'm doing a solarium. I'm trying to get as dark as I can, but it's just not natural. It's just not
Okay.
coming.
You're trying to get dark. May I ask you a
Yeah.
question?
Yeah.
Because although a lot of white women get suntan, they never want to be mistaken for a black woman. So can you help me understand that contradiction between wanting the suntan
Yeah.
but never
Interesting.
wanting to be mistaken for an African sister?
Well, it's really interesting because they say don't go too black because you look dirty. Because we can't get the color that you get. Our pigment, like our pigmentation, will never get to yours to be the same as yours. Does that make
Right,
sense?
but you said they said if you go too dark, you might get dirty. But are you aware that the original man and woman of this planet were blue black? They were as black as midnight. That is the original natural color of humanity.
Are you Christian?
I'm African.
Oh, what's your religious belief?
My religion is revolutionary Pan-Africanism.
Oh, cool. How do we do that? How do I get on
Well,
board with
you
that?
can't do that because you have to be an African to be a revolutionary Pan-Africanist.
Oh, wow. So that's why everyone's like, wow, why is there a white chick joining this? I think you're cool as man.
Let me ask you this. In Australia, I read that there's a lot of oppression against the Aboriginal
Yeah,
Africans
I'm gonna
of
tell you out of here.
Australia.
Go fuck. Why would you talk like that?
Are you listening to my
Look at
question?
the story. Yeah.
Okay. The Aboriginals of Australia, the original African people of Australia, I understand they suffer a lot of racism in Australia. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you done anything to try to address the racism against my people in Australia?
Yeah. Well, my whole street is pretty much full of Well, how do I say it? Well, they're not all African.
Well, if they look like me, they're African.
Well, there is some of them in my street.
Okay. So
So
you live in a black neighborhood?
yeah, I do.
Okay. What brought you to that black neighborhood?
I just went there and there was a mosque there. So
You said it's a mosque. You're Muslim?
yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay. Sunni or Shia?
Sunni.
Sunni. I was raised Muslim. Okay.
Oh wow.
So you have a black boyfriend, I take it.
No, I don't. No.
Okay, good, good. We don't want you to have a black boyfriend
Oh,
because
why?
then because you are taking an eligible black man away from a
Oh,
black woman who needs
oh,
to
that's not.
build
Yeah,
a
but that's
strong
not
black
fair.
family.
Hi.
Hello, how are you there?
Hello. But that's not fair to say that.
No, it's not because African people suffer the most in the world. And in order for us to repair ourselves, we have to build our family. We have to reconstruct the black family. And we can only do that with a black man, a woman, and child. So,
But why? That's not correct. I could whatever cultural things that you follow as an African, I'm sure a white woman could follow them as well. Like,
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
She couldn't, because the white woman benefits from a white privilege that she would never relinquish in order to support the black struggle.
Incorrect.
There has never been a white person ever who has given up white privilege to struggle with black people.
And
They
what
may
is
have struggled with black people, but they never relinquished their privilege, which would make them a revolutionary hypocrite. Do you
and
understand?
what is a what are they giving up? What is it that they're not giving up?
The privilege. So, for
All
example, with
privilege of
yourself,
what?
you have the privilege of not being racially profiled by the police. You have the privilege of
That's
not
not
being denied
correct at
opportunity.
all.
Say again.
She's not. Why are people so mean? Why is everyone being so mean?
Don't worry about the comments. Don't worry about the
They're
comments.
so rude. People are just so rude and judgmental. Why don't
Well,
they?
but you have to put the judgmentalism in context. We have over 1,000 years of direct contact with white people. And in that 1,000 years or more of direct contact with white people, African people have not been treated fairly. Would you agree with that?
I'm not aware of the statistics. But
Okay,
if that, but I could say that potentially yes, I could imagine that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you are aware of the racism against the Aboriginals in Australia, correct?
Yes, but it is getting much better. My neighbor is Aboriginal,
Okay.
and I love her.
Okay, so when you say the racism is getting better, can you give me 2 examples that will help me understand why you feel it's getting better? What has changed for the Aboriginals in Australia, my African brothers and sisters?
Well, for your African or for the Aboriginals?
It's the same thing. The
Is it?
Aboriginals are an African people.
Oh, okay. Well, pretty much like for childcare, family daycare centers. So we have like a family daycare center, and we put we had someone come and do all Aboriginal like chalking at the front of the house.
Okay.
Putting all Aboriginal things inside the actual childcare center. Like,
Okay.
there's also a lady who comes to your house and she teaches the children how to play like the didgeridoo, those sorts of things, read some books. Yeah, like
Now,
they implement that a lot, and I love that. And even when my daughter goes to a oh my god, I cannot handle these comments. People are so rude.
So let me push back a little bit.
So fucking rude.
Let me push back. The things you mentioned, the daycare, learning how to play the games, those things do not change status or the access to opportunity of
Currently, but you were actually just racist because you turned around and said that a white woman would not be able to
marry a black man.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah, because it's not about hating you. Yeah. It's about building up ourselves. Do you understand?
Your cultural beliefs or your cultural needs or whatever it is culturally you need from a white woman, why could I not give that to you? How do you know that I wouldn't give that to you? How do you know that?
Because only the black woman, who is the oldest and most ancient of all females, can provide the oldest and most ancient of all males with the spiritual and psychological energy we need in order to reach God consciousness.
Well, have you tried that? Have you tried being with a white woman? Or has anyone tried?
Never, absolutely not.
Why? So then how could you say something if you haven't tried it? That contradicts everything that you're doing, because you're actually doing something all based on statistics. And now I'm saying to you, have you tried it? No.
The European is melanin deficient. You have a melanin deficiency.
Yeah.
That melanin deficiency affects your ability to reach higher states of spiritual growth. And so when I make love to my wife, when I reproduce with my wife, the two of us making love is an act of oneness. So in that moment,
Do you
we
think it's
are as
appropriate for you to talk about you making love with your wife online?
well, listen to me. I'm not speaking of sex.
I
I'm
know.
speaking of
You're saying
spiritual
you're saying making
intimacy.
love, same thing.
Well, I think it's
Do you
appropriate
think she
as
would
long as you're not,
appreciate that?
listen to me. It's appropriate as long as you're not being vulgar, right?
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is if I reproduce with a melanin deficient woman, if I reproduce with a melanin deficient woman, that will restrict my ability to achieve God consciousness. See, the black man and woman are the oldest in the world. So we are
Leave
the
your kid.
closest.
Be quiet. Can you please say
What's going
something to
on?
these people? They're so nasty.
Well, you have to
It's
understand my people.
9:15 a.m. in Australia, and I have 2 children. So, yeah.
What is your
Stop being rude.
nationality? May I ask?
I'm Scottish.
Scottish. Ah, I haven't been to Scotland. Okay.
Yeah.
How do the Scottish feel about black people?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. How do you feel about black people?
I love them.
You
Not
love them?
all of them. I'm scared of some of them because, some of them are a bit like crazy. But
Some
I
black
love
people are
them.
crazy. In what way are they crazy?
Like some of them are not like the exact same as a white person.
Okay, so you're saying there's crazy blacks and crazy whites.
Yeah.
But is it possible that the whites made the blacks crazy?
Well, I don't see why not.
Okay. What will you teach your daughter to believe about black people?
We are equal.
Okay.
Don't
You
you
will honestly
dare
teach her
ever
that?
say a single word. Simple. We are equal.
Okay.
I will
What did
actually, I because I'm Muslim, I would actually tell her that I believe, like we all come from dust,
okay.
and
So you are
that,
a white Muslim, correct?
yeah.
Were you born into Islam or did you convert to Islam?
I converted to Islam.
How many years have you practiced Islam?
8 years.
8?
Yeah.
So your husband is Muslim.